So Tom, this is our career readiness quiz. It's one of several of our pathways that we can use to improve conversion rates for schools. It's interesting, there's all these engagement points, eh?
Yeah, our goal is to give you more engagement points from your existing platforms so that you can improve your overall conversion rates and get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, more enrollment revenue. So an engagement point is, for instance, it can be this particular pathway we're going to show can be used to be put on engagement points on a website or an education fair, as an example. Any first point of contact. And our goal is to do two things: to increase the conversion rate from the lead to the start. And we have impressive statistics about that. And then the second thing is to actually have a higher volume of inquiries, organic inquiries, that will, the two combine to create a significant lift in enrollment revenue. So we can get into the types of engagement points and more macro conversations, but let's just dive right into this demo. So somebody's landed here because they clicked on something on a website. So take us through it.
Absolutely. So the goal is to lead people to this particular landing page from a website or a landing page or any other location you want to, since it's its own standalone URL. When a explorer hits this page, typically these pages are customized for the particular program. So the verbiage that you see on this page will actually change depending on where it comes from. So it comes from a medical assisting page, it'll have a much more medical assisting focus and verbiage. If it comes from a dental assisting page, it may be much more dental assisting focus. If it's IT related, it's going to have a much more IT related focus. So it creates a little bit more of an emotional connection.
And I know that you don't refer to yourself as Jane. So here you go. You're changing things up here. Now,
Absolutely.
folks, whoever's watching this demo, we use the term explorer versus a lead. A lead is kind of a crass thing where it's the business thinking, oh, it's a lead, whereas an explorer is a empathetic explanation for a person who's exploring a new career. So Tom, you filled this out and as if you were an explorer, and then you click and we go in our little journey.
Absolutely. And the great thing about this too is once they begin the process here, we've already captured the key lead information that a school may need. So you've gotten their name, address, and phone number already.
So this first page or two is really all about potential areas of interest. And these are the questions that in theory, a top quality admissions rep might ask when they are qualifying an explorer to see if they are serious about going to school. But of course, we both know that admissions reps are very uneven. So this is almost like a best practice forced discipline. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna give that also those really well-trained admissions reps. We're gonna give you some great background information so that you can explore deeper and not have to worry about the surface questions about what program do you want and where do you want to go and why do you want. We can give you some of that information so that you can go deeper, create that better emotional connection, which in turn will create a much higher show rate and much higher conversion rate.
Excellent. So what's interesting is as people are going through this little process, the information that they create goes into the CRM of choice in real time. So that's exciting. It's capturing valuable information that could typically take an admissions person a couple hours to go and ferret out. So let's see what's on the next page.
Awesome. So we're going to find out what program they're interested in, why, and if there's any other program that they're looking at. Then
okay, so this is the current
situation.
Yes, sorry, the current situation, which is something that we drew from like challenger selling, spin selling, where once you find out where they're working, are they happy with what they're doing? it creates context. It just creates context for an admissions rep to determine if they're potentially a candidate to go to their school. And that last question you popped on, frustrated, Tom, that's really an important one, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're getting their feelings about where they are and how much pain or how much discontentment do they have currently to see what their motivation level might be.
If they're content with what they're presently doing, they're not really a good candidate to go to school. There's not as much pain, as it were. So
yeah, they'll be much higher in the funnel, and they'll take more nurturing to move them forward.
So again, extending into we're not even talking about the school yet, but some of the things they want if they want to change their career. And this is really valuable information to draw out for both parties.
Absolutely. So we'll find out what's motivating them to move forward. You know, what are they looking for, and what are their goals in life?
This is a fun thing where we do a social styles, and this is fun for the prospective, the explorer to do self-insight. This is super valuable for the admissions rep because they'll understand how to work with that explorer based on their social style. So that'll pop up a little later, right? So
yeah, we'll get some feedback on this in the report that they're going to get.
Oh, they're getting a report. How cool. Yeah. So now this is very clever. Rather than somebody babbling on about how great the school is or talking about benefits, this is organized. These are the benefits of a school organized in a statement and requesting if somebody agrees with this as being important or not. And this allows the admissions rep to focus on what they deem to be important and talk to the less important things a bit later on. Straightforward, very effective way to go in and connect in with the prospective student.
Absolutely. Finding if that school is right for them. And they're fairly leading questions, but we want to make sure that that student is a good fit.
All right. Now, any good admissions rep, whether it's not-for-profit or proprietary schools, need to do what's called an education plan. And so, yes, they'd love to go to school, but they don't have a high school diploma, or if they don't have daycare for the kids, or they don't have reliable transportation, it's simply not going to be viable. And so this is a way to look at logistics very quickly to see if they are logistically viable candidate to go back to school.
Yeah, and as you'll notice when you walk through this, depending on some of your answers, you'll be asked additional questions. So there's a lot of conditional logic in here that allows you to go even deeper depending on questions and what they answer. Then the following questions and pages can also change based on that information.
Okay, one more click to go in this user experience. We know that when somebody's making a life change, having family and friends around them to support them in this life change, going back and getting educated is a big deal. And so once they start to communicate that, then they start to self-articulate in their mind how they can go and start to build a team around them to help them with their moral support or co-signing a loan or what have you. So so in this scenario, dad is a grump because of money, but Lisa, she's willing to co-sign the loan. So take off, dad. We don't need you, right?
And it's giving you also with these supporters up here, it's giving the admissions rep a potential opportunities for additional referrals, for additional people that may be engaged. Also, if there's anyone not supportive, we definitely want to bring them in on the meetings, because if that person could potentially be a killer of the educational opportunity. So we certainly want to have the opportunity to show dad the benefits of attending our school as well.
Yeah, the life diminisher.
So good insights grabbed here, and they'll get their score.
So what happens in this demo, every time they create an answer, yes or no, it calibrates the score to go lower or higher. If it's too low, then we might say, hey, maybe another career path might be better for you, or maybe you're not ready to go back to school. In this case, this example, this person is 88% career training ready. And we have this clever little thing where all the things they communicated, we turned into a little report. Now, if you stop right there, Tom, there's a, due to regulations, we want to be thorough with everybody. So we have a clear link here, what's called ONET, and that's the US Department of Labor, which gives super, super detail about a potential career somebody's considering. So we, in our little report, we encourage people to go and dig into this and learn about what they can make and the pitfalls and all the goods and the negatives. So that's ONET. And then now we're just basically bringing back to them in this report what they have communicated. People will usually print this off or make an attachment. Here's the social style. In this example, the person is expressive. So this is where you make friends, you dreamscape with them, you talk about the future, and then get into doing the business later. And so, and this is a report on what they learned about what was important to them and not so important. And then your support system. And then the final step is they get to book their customized visit. And more now, it's all being done on the phone with online education becoming more prevalent. But this is a tremendous just way to turn that information into an actual visit. And that's where in education, synchronous exchange is the key. And this is the catalyst to make it happen.
Absolutely. Some really great information. You can help craft their visit, as well as one of the key things I think super important is the fact that finding out when they're most available, so that if you're going to reach out, and anyone needs to reach out to them, we know a best time, instead of calling them every morning and they can't find out why they don't answer. Well, because that person worked or whatever, but they only said they were available in the evenings or the afternoons. So call them when they're most available, and it'll give you the best opportunity to connect and improve your connection rates.
Also, there's the potential to add text here and speak to lead type of technology. That's a possibility as well. I have a question though. We talked about how all this information gets dumped in to the CRM. Is this only work with one type of CRM like Salesforce.com, or does this work with a whole bunch of CRMs? What say you?
We currently work with several dozen different CRMs out there. So depending on their API, we're usually able to pretty easily integrate not only the report itself and then obviously the lead data, but some schools will also create some additional fields in their CRM for some of the key fields that we generate here, allowing them to create a better a better overview or persona of the types of students.
So you're talking about it's easy to map all the information in great detail, so people can filter it and stuff. Well, that's very cool. And then one last question, then we'll stop this little demo. Someone's partway through, let's just say, and they stop, like the kids are causing a fuss or something, and they forget about it. I'd heard that there is a way to sort of send people little emails along the way to remind them to jump back in and finish. Is that correct?
Certainly, yes. If students or explorers that are completing this don't get far enough to get the report, then they will get an email nurturing them to log back in. We see you didn't get the free report. Click this link and they can go back in and finish up where they may not have, so they can get that free report of how ready they may be to attend that career. So we nurture them along in the process. And if they do get the report, but they don't book a tour, we'll also nurture them along to, hey, you got the free report, but you didn't book a tour or an opportunity to talk with one of our admissions reps. We'll nurture them along through that. And essentially what we've been able to do is move the completion rate, which means people that have started it, to people that can get the report, which means they've answered all of the questions and they get the full report. So we have all their info. It averages around 82 to 83% of all the people that start this quiz, which is a very high rate of completion. And about half of those will book a tour, which is a much higher tour booking rate than typically an admissions rep may have just working as a standard lead.
So with this, you're doing more with what you've got. We can create more interest, organic interest on websites and education fairs and what have you. And the people who go in and complete this little 5 to 10 minute process will be, there's a significantly high lead to start rate. So there's 2 metrics in favor. And for other demos, we have a fantastic admissions pathway that allows admissions reps effectively to work with explorers via the phone instead of in the office. We have a student retention pathway. We have a number of others, high school recruiting, stale lead nurturing. But I think, Tom, that's for another day. I'd just like to keep this nice and short. Tom, thanks so much. On behalf of our Senior VP, Tom King, and myself, Greg Meiklejohn, thanks for watching our demo. Have a good day.
Take care.